Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are watching from. You are welcome to this program. While you are joining, invite others to join. If you are joining us, invite other people to join. We are going to do it again today, and it's going to be a very quick one as well. Great Biafrans all over the world, there are pressing things that we need to unpack, and those things are the reason why I'm here. First of all, let me confirm that we are live and we are coming out clearly in all our platforms. Before we continue to preach this gospel of redemption, this gospel of freedom, and this gospel for the restoration of the dignity of mankind on this earth. I can see we are live on YouTube. Okay, we are live here. We are live on different Facebook platforms. We are live on YouTube at Judge Money Blog Africa. We are live there. We are live on Biafra Time. We are live on Judge Money Blog platforms. So, whichever way you are joining, invite other people to join. Share the video, invite others to join. It is very, very important. Let's make sure. Okay, we are there. We are there. Now, of course, you have seen one of the reasons why we are here today. It is the poster you see from the beginning of this program. That is one of the reasons why we are here today. We are here to discuss that matter where the DOS, IPOB issued a proclamation for our people to be buried at least, or if our people passed on, they should be buried within 3 days, at maximum within 3 days, and which is not something that is very, very difficult for our people to do, which is rescuing people from wasteful expenditure in the name that they are keeping people, our loved ones who has fallen in the mortuary, and I believe that will help our people in many ways. And I know that we've talked about it, and the enemy decided to use it in order to bring their own battle once more. But it is very, very important that we do this today by exposing these activities of this enemy. By exposing the activities of this enemy, we need to tell them that we know exactly what we are doing. We know the reason why we advise our people to bury their loved ones within 3 days instead of keeping them in a fridge, because even in our tradition, in our ordinana, because what they are doing today, it is what is called omenala. And as far as you may know, omenala bụ alụ gbala afọ, arụ gbala afọ wee bịa bụrụzia omenala. So that is we are here to correct and give you the difference between ordinana and omenana. so that you will understand when somebody in Finland, one Fulani, in Finland, will come to tell you that the reason why the DOS issued that order is because China Sanworu is in Kuwait and they are following the ways of the Muslim people in Kuwait. For your own information, the Muslim people, they bury their loved ones the same day. Their loved ones does not stay. They bury their loved ones the same day. And if you look at our culture, if you look at our ordinana, the best thing you are going to do to a foreign hero or a fallen person or your loved ones, it is to place them into free jana. The thing they call it free jana. I hope you are getting it. They put them in the down fridge. They call it down fridge, which is 6 feet. That is the best thing you are going to do for a fallen person, any dead person. You place them in free jana. We call it free jana. Instead of going to put them in the mortuary, which is the higher fridge, upper fridge, because do you know the reason why it is very, very important that you bury your loved ones on time? Number one, it is you incur wasteful expenditure, which you do not have. You just want to be keeping them in the fridge, paying for the facility, which is keeping that body of your loved ones. And now, while you are keeping your loved ones in the fridge, that is the reason why all the time you will find, if you go here, you go there, many things are not working out for you. Because your loved ones, whom you're supposed to lay to rest, you are keeping them in the mortuary for years, for months. Incurring wasteful expenditure, which you do not have in the condition of the Nigeria, in the condition of that zoo country you are. There are people who will be needing that money that you are spending keeping your loved ones, which you're supposed to lay to rest at maximum 3 days. Let's say that you have to make preparation for the digging of the grave and it will take you like 3 days. But in a normal circumstance, when a person dies, they must be buried immediately. It is not Islamic law. It is not Islamic law. Islam, they do it because they understand it. Our own people, they want to learn everything that comes with civilization and modernization. And that has been the problem of our people. And that is the reason why you are always, attracting wasteful expenditure. Where you're supposed to invest your money, you will not invest it. Where you are not supposed to invest it, you will invest it. Once a person dies, the next thing you are doing for that person, the biggest thing you are going to do for that person is not that you kill 100 cow or 1 million cow. The best thing you will do for a fallen person is to place them into 6 feet. Put them in the grave. Because our people, we are ancient people, number one. Number two is that we are the people, our DNA can never be erased. Our DNA, it can never be erased. Our DNA is the DNA that Chukwokika Biamakolaka well. And in this DNA, we reincarnate. That is the reason why you do not take long to plant that seed. You have to replant that seed in order for that seed to germinate. That is in our culture. It is not when somebody dies, you go and be drying them up, taking up their body organs. No, it is very, very important for our people to understand that when a person dies, it is up to that person to say that they want their organ to be harvested or they don't want their organ to be harvested. That is something you don't understand. Now, when a person died, probably maybe they die of gunshots, they were taken to hospital, they died there. Now you now administer them into the mortuary, and in that mortuary they will harvest the organ of that person, because some of the organs are still active. And you, as an individual, you are not a doctor, you are not a nurse. You don't know when you see a person which their organ has been harvested. Maybe they will tell you this is the system of keeping this body to be, fresh until the burial date. That is violation of the right of the dead. You are violating the dead, because now the right of every person who die is 6 feet. You plant them as a seed that they will now, where it says aja na ala aja, nto na alu nto, that is what the reason why you unite them with the earth. When you are keeping somebody in the fridge, even that dead person does not like it. The dead person is not resting until you unite him with the earth. That is the reason why you must place them under the soil, 6 feet under the soil, because it is from the soil of the ground that we were made, and the ash thereof we were made. And that is the reason why in every time you want to bury a person, you will say aja na ala aja, nto na ala nto. When you are delaying it, you are incurring wasteful expenditure. You are now making that person not to rest in peace when they're supposed to. You are stressing the dead. Now the doctors and the nurses who are in Biafra land harvesting organs of somebody who did not give a permission for their organ to be harvested. I know you are not aware that before, everybody has a right to say that if they die, that if any of their organ is still alive, they should harvest it and use it to treat other people. It is a permission that everybody has a right to give to their loved ones. In a situation whereby your loved ones did not give this permission to you, and you now go and place them in a morgue where people will do this without even your consent, or without even paying you, the owner of this body, for the harvested organs from your loved ones who died. You don't know this. You don't know this. They will tell you they are removing the intestine so that it doesn't get rotten. It doesn't get smelly. No, they are harvesting the organ of that person. Because it is not when you die immediately that your organ will die. Your organ does not die immediately. That is another way that all these mortuary and morgues, they are making money. And you are not aware of that. Once you are declared dead, because first of all, once your heart stops and they are not able to revive you, your organs does not mean that your organs stopped working. They are still alive. They can be harvested. So there are people who will give it as an order. It happens mostly in the Western world. They will give order. Whenever I die, harvest my kidney and donate it to the hospital so that they will use it to treat another person. But these ones, you people are willingly giving it to the mortuary without even getting money from it. Do you know that you get money from it? You get money out of it. But that person who is the body must give you that permission. If they do not give you that permission, you do not have right to harvest their organ. But the mortuaries are doing that for you without your consent, without even giving you any money. And they will still charge you for keeping the body in the mortuary. Don't you get it? This is another way of exploiting your dead bodies. And you will go and bury things that, you will go and bury that person in Saja and Alaja. When you have violated the body of that person without the consent of that person, and tomorrow they tell you the spirit of the dead is disturbing this family, the spirit of the dead is disturbing that family. You don't know. These are the things that you brought to yourself because you are following the time you do not know what it is. You are following civilization that you did not implement. You are following something that you don't know where it is taking you. You are now abandoning your own people. You are abandoning your own ways, following the ways of all other people, other nations. You are following the ways of other nations, which is now making your own ways inferior, and you are superiorizing their own ways, which is bringing yourself low as a slave, because you can never follow your ways, implement anything that will stand. Rather, you will follow the implementation of other nations. When your ancestors have their own ways of implementation, have their own ways of life, you are abandoning it, following other people's ways of life, and it is affecting you. It is part of the reason why you are enslaved today. Part of the reason why you are not free today. Because before we are going to be free, we need to look at all these things that we have undermined and we have abandoned our ways of life. We need to bring them back. We need to now be whom we are, because we are fighting to go back to what God said we are. And now, if you say, no, we can no longer bury our loved ones until we make money to buy 100 cows, until we make money to buy 1 million cows, you are actually, disturbing the dead ones, because the dead ones belong to 6 feet, not in the fridge of a modernized fridge of dead bodies. No. Have you ever asked yourself, in the land, okay, the Israelites, so many of you now, because of Christianity, we bastardize our culture. Now, let me tell those of you who are into Christianity or Judaism, some of you who are into Christianity or Judaism, you will agree with me, you will understand that the Israelites, even when Moses died in the land of Moabs, and he was buried in the land of Moabs, in the mountain. Why was he buried there? Why did they not put him why did they not put Moses in fridge? Moses in the Bible, the one you call Mosaic, the one you call Moses in the Bible, why was he not placed in the fridge so that when they get to the land of Israel, they will bury him? He was buried in the land of Moabs, in the mountain. It is in the book of Deuteronomy. Let's actually go to that Deuteronomy. Let's read the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 34. So that those of you who will bring Christianity into burying the people, or placing people in the fridge, it is never our own ways. It is never our culture. Onye nwe itinye na fridge ana. Ichebeze mgbe ị ga-eme the burial right. The right of every day, there is a right, rituals that you perform after you bury a person. There are rituals. You can bury that person, wait for the right time for the rituals. Wait for the right time to gather money for the rituals. You are claiming you are looking for money to do the ritual or burial ceremony, while you are incurring another expenses or expenditure from keeping the person in the fridge. You are looking for money to do the funeral rite, but you are now putting that person in the fridge where you pay. Is it every day or every month? That is a wasteful expenditure. And you don't have that. With the condition of the country, you don't have that. You cannot afford it. And that is the reason why we have to go back to our own ways. Let's read the book of Deuteronomy. The book of Deuteronomy 34:8. And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab. Okay, now let's start from 5. So Moses, servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. And he buried in a valley, okay, not in the mountain, in a valley in the land of Moab, over against Beth Peor. But no man knoweth of his sepulture unto this day. And Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyes was not dim, nor his natural forces abated. Now, the reason why he was buried in the valley, I correct that because I said in the mountain. He was buried in the valley. The reason the land of Moab was not the land where Moses come from. Moses was supposed to be buried in the land of Israelite. But because they cannot keep that body, it is not because they don't have that, civilization that time, because the ancient civilization started with these people that we are talking about in this Bible. It started with them in the land of Egypt. They were able to keep a body of a person in the pyramid and they will not get rotten. Started with Egyptians. So they know what to do to keep that body until they get to the land where he is going to inherit, and they bury him there. But instead, they buried him in the land of Moab. And when you talk about the land of Moab, it's within this China today, that is the land of Moabs. So now in this regard, if this Christianity is the reason why you are keeping your loved ones in the fridge, you have seen it in Deuteronomy that Moses was not kept in order to be buried in the land of Israel. He was buried where he died, in the valley. Because the best thing you can do for a dead person is to unite them with the earth, so that they are going to germinate and reincarnate. Because you are wasting their time. Keeping them in the fridge, basically, logically, you are wasting their time. Keeping them in the fridge is not going to yield them anything. It is not going to yield them anything. Why is it that when you want to get a better, if you want to reap from the seed that you are going to sow, you have to now sow a seed under the ground. That seed have to die, rotten, and now germinate, spring up a new one. That is the concept of burying people, putting people on the ground, uniting them with the earth, where they come from. So why do you find it difficult to understand that you need to unite your loved ones with the earth, where they come from, for them to rest in peace? Instead of going and taking their body parts without you getting money from it. So now the reason why I'm doing this, that I am doing right now, is to address that ignorant autopilot who reside in Finland, that has been there for 2 decades and never find his way back home. And he wants to challenge the activities of those who knows what is right for our people, because what he knows. I am talking about the chief infiltrator in the name of Perima in Finland. Let me now read what brings me back to discuss this. Let me read that article that he wrote that brought me back to this, because we are going to do few things. We are going to touch on a lot of things. We are going to be doing money matters, and we are going to, there is another thing that they did. There is another, shenanigan they have played that I have to bring back to you in order to debunk it, because our people are very, very, easy to be manipulated. And that is the reason why we are following these enemies that are busy in, instilling stupidity in you. They don't know what they are instilling in you because you believe that they have that platform where they will be speaking as if they know what they are speaking. They do not know what they are speaking. If you ask Simon Eber, what is your tradition? What is the rite that you do? What is the funeral rite you do for a person who passed away in Biafra land? He does not know. He does not know, but he is here to tell you. Let me read it out for you. Our attention has been drawn to a publication by some expelled criminals in IPOB urging Ndibo to bury corpses within 3 days. Please disregard such news. It doesn't represent our culture. When you ask Simon Eber, what is our culture? You know what he's going to tell you? He is going to bring you Obe Jesu, the man with blue eyes that you always keep next to him, forgetting that they're his ancestors. Oh no, he's not his ancestors. This person is Fulani, Fulani Janjaweed. Now, forgetting that Ndibo, that the real Yahweh Yeshua is the ancestor of Ndibo, forgetting that it is blasphemy to bring that thing that he keeps at the back of him, a man with blue eyes, European man with blue eyes, whom they claim that he died for you, bringing him and putting him behind him, in the name of those who pray more than others, in the name of those who knows God more than others. These are blasphemers. And you know that it is the sin against Holy Spirit, blaspheming. That's what he's doing. He is teaching you what he knows nothing about. He said it is not in our culture. I want you to ask him, just like I have asked you to ask him, who is his father? Where does he come from? Is he an Igbo or is he Igbo speaking Fulani? These are very important questions you need to ask him. And I can remember this is not the first time I am actually telling him about the culture of Ndibo, because what he is doing is bastardizing the cultures and the good norms and value system of Ndibo, his activities, because he does not know any of them. He does not know the history of Ndibo. He does not know any history with regards to what we are fighting for. He does not know these things. I wish there is, a time where we will come out for a debate in this regard, where we are going to be discussing what is our good norms and value system and how our culture is being bastardized, and who knows and who does not know. You will find out that the man in Finland does not know what he is fighting for. He is just there because it is putting money into his pocket. He is just there just because he gets money from there to buy himself a new car. That's the only reason why he is there. A lot of you in the comment section, you said so many things. When I posted that I will be doing this program today, you said a lot of things. Many of you said, is this necessary? Is this necessary for us to even, is this what we not need to discuss? Dude, it is part of the freedom that we are fighting for. We are not fighting to get a glorified freedom. We are going back to the drawing board where our God wants us to be. We make peace with him. When we call him Father, he will call us Son again. Because he abandoned us, because we abandoned the ways that he gave to us. And that is exactly the reason why we are suffering today. We rebelled against the ways that he gave to us. We are rebellious in nature. And that is why the reason why somebody is there telling you that what, burying your loved ones on time is against our culture. Ask him what is our culture. Ask him what is our belief system. Now let me continue to read. Let me continue to read what he said. He said, please disregard such news. It does not represent our culture. They are now out there, out with their Islamic belief. The reason some of them went to Kuwait, he is now talking about Kuwait, which is he's referring to Chinasa Nworu. He said the reason some of them went to Kuwait, they went to Kuwait, changed their names. One of the expelled criminal, his name in Kuwait is Muhammad Abbas. They have turned this freedom fighting into a joke. He said it's Mohammed Abbas, while his name in Nigeria is Chinasa Nworu. Our people will continue to give respect to the dead. It is part of our culture. Simon Ekpa, IPOB spokesperson. That's what he said. Now, let me ask this so-called idiotic IPOB spokesperson in the name of Simon Ekpa. How do you give the dead respect? A very, very important and simple question. What is the biggest respect with an invited comer that you are going to give to a dead person? If I may ask you, Mr. Know-it-all in Finland, you left wherever you come from in the last 20 years, 2 decades. You never returned home. Basically, you left when you were very, very in a tender age. And in the last 20 years, 2 decades, you never returned home. Now you are telling Biafrans that burying their dead ones on time, instead of keeping them in the fridge where their organs will be harvested, is giving respect to the dead ones, to the dead bodies. Are you listening to yourself? Is something on top of that brain, or is it only corruption that is in there? Because this is corruption that where you come from, they breed. It is still in you, and it is still something that is destroying and manipulating you. And if you do not desist from this corruption, it is going to take you to a very wrong place. It is going to take you to a very wrong place. How do you respect the dead? By giving them the right, uniting them with the earth, giving them the right of 6 feet under the ground, the unification of the earth and the body, which is going to germinate and which is going to now linger into reincarnation. Or don't you know that our people reincarnate? Or of course you don't know about it. And when you are harvesting their organ without their consent in the mortuary, keeping them dead, drying them up without their consent, tell me do you know the reason why some of these native doctors, when they kill somebody, some of them, of course, there are things that are the ones that you see that is making round on social media, when native doctors kill people and he's dried them up and they are there, he didn't bury them. Do you know the reason why he cannot bury them? Because he does not want them to unite to the ground with the earth and reincarnate. He wants to cage their soul. He is holding their soul. They can never rest in peace. That is the benefit of them using this human being. They don't bury them because they hold them captive on this shallow world, that they will not unite them with the earth. That is the reason why you are having a lot of problem in Biafra land, because a lot of dead bodies are hanging in the fridge. Instead of uniting them with the earth, you are keeping them there. And somebody came up with this wonderful idea. Let's bury our loved ones within 3 days. Let's bury our loved ones within 3 days. Your loved ones supposed to be buried immediately after death. If they, unless if they gave you a permission to harvest their organ and use it for charity, or to use it to treat other people, the best you can do for them, bury them immediately. That is how our ancestors did it. You put them in the fridge, they call it fridge, the lower fridge. That is the best you can do for a dead. Not when somebody is trying to curb this wasteful expenditure, number one. Violation of the dead ones, number two. Now, pollution of the land, number three. And somebody who don't know where they come from will now come and tell you otherwise. Go and ask any elder of your land. Any elder, if you are with the elder, or if you are an elder in Biafra land, watching this program, whichever place you are watching it, tell us, is it against our culture for our loved ones who has fallen to be buried immediately? Is it against our culture? Or because you saw Islamic religion doing it, you believe, no, because Islamic religion is doing it, it is not what you're supposed to do? You need to bury the loved ones immediately when they die. Immediately when they die. Only if you want to. They are in another man's country which you want to fly them back home. You fly them back home and bury them. But if you are where they need to be buried, you bury them immediately. Unite them with the earth. That's the best you can do for them. Then the rite that you are going to do, which some of them last for 30 days, some last for 7 days, which is biblical. It is also in the law of Deuteronomy, Exodus, and the law of Leviticus. It is also there, the rite that you need to perform. Because Moses was mourned for 30 days. Mosaic was mourned for 30 days. That is the reason why when somebody die in Biafra land, and that thing will be there for maybe for 30 days, for 1 month. Then some people call it 3 months. Then that is when they will remove akwojo. I don't know if it is called sackcloth or mourning cloth. They remove it and they will now burn it. That is the mourning time is over. This is our tradition. Our tradition is not keeping that body in the fridge, because keeping him in the fridge is not, you cannot perform a funeral rite when somebody is in the fridge. It is a new way that, they brought to you in order to bastardize what you believe in. Number one, in order to make sure that you incur wasteful expenditure. Number two, in order to make sure that you violate whom you are and the culture and everything about you. Aja na ala aja, nto na ala nto. That is the best thing. So now I am going to leave this path here, but go and tell Eperima in Finland that he should stop getting himself involved in the things he knows nothing about. Maybe if we are talking about Janjaweed culture, he can tell us more about it, because I don't know that, and I don't accept to know what I do not know. When it comes to our land, the culture of our people, he shouldn't interfere, because he doesn't know anything. So that is by the way. Now, there is a video that I want you to watch. And when you are watching this video, I want you to pay attention for you to see. And you will tell me exact same reason why Eberima and his fellow co-autopilot, politician supporters, Biafran exploiters. These are Biafran's exploiters, politician supporters. Just like they have changed so many pages of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu into political pages. Now, there is something I am going to show you. In case if you have any question with regards to what I just talked about, when we open the line, then we are going to discuss it further. When we open the line, we discuss it further, because we are going to open the line for some minutes and we will discuss it further. Now, let me let me see. Now, let me show you this video. Let's see this video so that you will know how they are manipulating our people. Let me show you exact way they are using to manipulate our people.
Instruction that I was given before is that those your smartphones who are connected to IPOB live broadcast, especially via IPOB community app, no longer Radio Biafra because a new one is coming. Delete every Radio Biafra app on your device. Delete it. Nigeria has taken it over. You must delete it. The zoo has taken it over. It is an order. You must remove Radio Biafra app from your phones.
Now, of course, you know the reason why. Of course, you know the reason why they are presenting this to you. They went back to bring this on. They went back to bring this on because their voice of Ndosi and Ndama does not have customer. Are you paying attention? The voice of their Ndosi and Ndama FM does not have customer. Now they are now trying to make you believe that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu does not believe in Radio Biafra anymore. That is the reason why they went and bring out the program where Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said in 2021 or 2020 ending, where he said that the zoo has taken over Radio Biafra app. He said the Radio Biafra app. He did not say Radio Biafra, because how can you take a radio over? You can only take over a website like this. Umuwanya Kata and the Berima hijacked the website. The website. I hope you are understanding it. That is how the zoo hijacked the Radio Biafra app. Remember, app is like a website. App is like a website. So now, instead of a website, the difference between app and website is that website, you have to type it on the search bar. You have to put the URL in order to go into the website. But now, when you make it an app, you don't need to search it. You need to download that website. You download it, that same website. Then when you open it, you can access anything you want to access through that app. Instead of going to register the URL and searching it on the search bar, you are now having the website. It will now be, inside as an app. Now, that is the reason why when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu discovered that the zoo, they have gotten their hands into the Radio Biafra website, which is the app, that they are manipulating it. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu now made a pronouncement that everybody should delete all the Radio Biafra app, that the new one is coming. He did not say people should stop listening to Radio Biafra, because the narrative these criminals want to sell right now, it is to say that Radio Biafra is rejected by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because they will continue to bring different method of manipulations, and we will continue to bring different method of debunking them, because we are the IPOB watchdogs. We will continue to watch every activities of the enemy. They have brought this to make you stop listening to Radio Biafra, because their voice of Ndoshi and Ndempo that they created is no longer having traffic. It does not have it's no longer having customers. And because they believe it is because of their voice of Ndoshin and Ndama is no longer having customers, that is the reason why they cannot issue anything or proclamation, and it will be adhered to. So they want to play this cheap stunt by telling you that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu rejected Radio Biafra. There are many things you should understand. There are many things you should understand. These people are doing everything. Remember that the reason why you see people using this Torah or Bible to manipulate other people, even though it is supposed to be the book that saves people, they are now using it to lie and deceive people and exploit them. Using the word written inside that book, it is only because in the wrong hands, the book will do evil, because they will use it to do evil. That is the reason why the scripture has been bastardized today. So many people will tell you the scripture is not the nice one, the scripture is this, the scripture is that. It's been bastardized because the people, it is in the wrong hands. It is in the wrong hands. Does not mean that the scripture is, there is something wrong with it, but it is in the wrong hands. And in that wrong hand, it will never do any good until it gets back to the right hands. Now, that is the reason why they are going about using the broadcast of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, trying to use it to manipulate their activities, their ways, into, making you to disregard Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's structure, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's, implementations, and his legacy. They want to change the narrative of yesterday. The narrative of yesterday is that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told you, not in a trillion years, you can never, ever penetrate. That is the narrative of yesterday they want to change. They believe they can, but they don't know. Not in a trillion years, not in their trillion generation. They will never stop this fire from burning. They will never stop this burning desire with their selfish interest. It is not possible. So whichever way they come, we are equal to the task. That is what makes us different from them. We see them before they see us. We see them before they implement. So what you see here, let me play it again. Let me play it again, so that you will understand what we are talking about. Because a lot of you might see it on the internet, on the public domain, you will not understand the reason why they have brought this broadcast back to the internet.
The instruction that I was giving before, is that those of you with your smartphones who are connected to IPOB live broadcast, especially via IPOB community app, no longer Radio Biafra because a new one is coming. Delete every Radio Biafra app on your device. Delete it. Nigeria has taken it over. You must delete it.
Delete every Radio Biafra app because the zoo has taken it over. This is just like, a similar thing that he did when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu went to address people in Kuwait. He told you that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is addressing Chinasa Nworu. I will bring that one back. I will bring it in a short video again. Because, those comments that they are making, it means that what we are saying is sinking in. Is sinking in. So when I am preaching this gospel of redemption, if I don't see those comments from Umu Ekwensu, I will not feel happy because it means that it is not sinking in. You see, we don't have traffic in this video, but we are going to have it when we are done because we told them we are coming to debunk them. So they wouldn't come. So that comment, you are going to see many of them. And when I see them, it is my drive. I will know that you are understanding the truth, but you are just ignorant. That is the most important thing. We preach the gospel to the world. There is many seed you plant. Some of them will die off. Some of them will germinate. So when we are seeing this comment of this autopilot Umu Ekwensu, it means that we are doing something. Please, autopilot, keep those comments coming. I appreciate it. Keep it coming. Now, there is something you need to, I want to show you in the last broadcast before we go into money matter. The last broadcast of Eberima. I want to show you something so that you will know. Let us actually find out who is fooling who. Let's find out who is fooling who. Let us go to that last broadcast. I think let me play it here. Because all this deception and every other thing, we will continue to debunk them until they cease to exist. Now, there is something I want to show you from this last broadcast. Because so many of you, I know, he will tell you, now there is something I want to expose about this last broadcast. Let me play it from the phone. I will not bring it up to the screen. Damn it. Just one moment. One moment. Let us now do something. Let us remove we're going to remove this one.
And let me also make it very clear that those of you in your so-called uniform that derive joy in killing our, mark my word, those things you have caused to Biafra people for decades.
Let's see.
That Niger State president came to say, we collected the money from the president because Sanjo was a president. He did all the nonsense. People are not controlling him. He left as a president.
Just 1 minute. Let me find exactly what I am looking for, because it is not actually what I am here for. But let's touch on that. Yes, I think I got it. I think I got it. Now, let's go back to the full screen. And
he will tell you, I left it. What Peter B is telling you today is,
now,
it is about, he made Anambra school to come first. What is the position of Anambra?
Now, what I want to show you in this video, I want to show you the motive of making this video. Just like I have told you from the beginning, that these guys, what they are doing is that the autopilot who you see, who are claiming autopilot, no election, they are the ones who promoting P2B from the behind the scene. But the problem of this chief infiltrator is that P2B never recognized him, just like he want to be recognized so that he will be giving money. That's the only thing he is doing. That is what I am trying to bring to you right now. Let me play this video, that you will understand the psychology. Because what we bring to you psychology in everything. We present the psychology and we present the analogy. Let us now go there. Listen attentively.
Ask him. Ask P2B. What he's telling you, when I was Anambra governor, I did this. I saved money. What about the situation today? What is the situation of Anambra today? He could not maintain it. He could not act as an elder and advisor to those who come after him to become the governor of Anambra State. He has become irrelevant. His so-called experience in saving is no longer working immediately he left office. Something is happening, going to happen even worse in Nigeria.
Now,
so
I am not arguing what he is saying here right now, but now I want you to pay attention to where I am going to bring it, for you to understand what he is, the reason why, the reason behind, because it is not anybody who call father. I hope you know that parables. That is what you are going to see here, because it is not about preaching against politicians. What is your interest? That is most important thing that I want you to pick up here. Listen attentively.
All of them are dead because this foundation is rotten. Foundation of Nigeria is evil. So there is no sure they maintain it. You are a failure and you are still alive.
Listen.
Do hashtag
That is how he is going to fail. Have you ever heard P2B intervening in Anambra problem? He is not intervening. Look at Nigeria problem. When Obasanjo was a president, he did all the nonsense. Fulani control him. He left as a president. Today, every president that come, Obasanjo write letter to criticize them. Have P2B done the same thing? Obasanjo have put pressure for these people to maintain the small thing he did, which is not even working. Every time he writes open letter, every time he criticizes whoever, even when he is a very corrupt man, Obi have never done that in Anambra. Obi have never advised publicly the government of Anambra State to continue to maintain what he believes he has done to Anambra. No. Alumelo, I want you to tag Obi, call Obi. Obi, you are a failure.
Listen from this angle. From I want you to tag Obi, tell Obi you are a failure. We know he's a failure, but now listen to know the motives behind tagging Obi. And now you go back to this Umuekwensu that are all over the place. And in fact, before I say this, let's listen to it.
When they ask you, why are you calling Obi a failure? Tell him and tell them that you are calling Obi a failure because when Obi left as a governor of Anambra State, when he believed that if he believed that what he did in Anambra was so good, he should have, put pressure on the predecessors or other governors that were coming after him to maintain his legacy. Let it be on public domain. Let it be in the news. Let it be in the newspaper that Peter Obi wrote open letter to the governor of Anambra State, cautioning him to follow this advice, follow that advice. Peter Obi didn't do it. All of them are scam. That is why somebody like us, people like us, are here to stop them. We will stop them. So when they come and start telling you all this thing, if they tell you Obi is the only candidate, none of the candidates will change Nigeria. None. Not Atiku, not Tinubu, not Obi, not nobody can change Nigeria. Nigeria is a scam.
By chance, by political prostitute.
Have you ever heard it to be intervened? Maintain his legacy. Let it be on public domain. Mm-hmm. Let it be in the news. Let it be in the news. So when they come and start telling you all this thing, if they tell you Obi is the only candidate, none of the candidates will change Nigeria. None. Not Atiku, not Tinubu, not Obi, not nobody can change Nigeria. Nigeria is a scam. And so when anybody is coming to rule Nigeria, you must be a scammer. A scammer. A scammer to be able to make impact. That is what Obi and his group are. I told you people last time that they hired people. They hired. Are you aware? Are you aware that they hired people to go to Imo State? They hired them. Let me show you now how they hire the people. I'm gonna play the video. They hired people, and we told you they transported them to Imo State. And you are going to watch the video very soon.
Remember that what he is trying to now do is to try to find a way to, bring back the mind of his Efulefu. He's a hypnotist. He want to now hypnotize his people again, as per reason why Obi succeeded in Imo State. They couldn't stop it. But when they come online and they start making noise, you will believe that there is something that they have to offer. They only make noise. That is the reason why when they are making noise, we will remind you they are making noise. when they prove to, when you have, when they prove it that it is all about noise, we are going to remind you. There is something he said in this broadcast that I am looking for. Of course, those who here will listen to it because they were listening to it last night. Now, you will understand when he tell you to go and tag P2B. Go and tag P2B and say, P2B, you are a failure. He said, tag him and say he's a failure. Now the question is, since this more than 24 hours, how many of you okay, actually 2 days ago, more than 48 hours. More than 48 hours. How many of you tagged P2B? Ask him. He claimed, even in the broadcast, he claimed that more than 10,000 people who are watching now. And the reason why he made that claim is to remind P2B, we have 10,000 people watching in a real time. Oh, so I can spoil some things for you. Come and sort me out. Oh. And that is exactly what he did there. Now, my question is does it mean that these 10,000 people that we are watching you, we are 10,000 robots? Because I don't see anybody tagging P2B telling him he's a failure. Why? Why is nobody tagging him and telling him he's a failure? But let's listen to this thing and see what is going on.
We told you they hired them to Imo State. Some people say we were lying. Now, this man here, Labour Party hired people to Imo State. Whether we use the word hired, it may not necessarily be hired, but some of them received money. Now listen.
It may not necessarily be hired. Whether we use the word hired, it may not necessarily be hired. Hi. It means that these people, your brains are not working, not autopilot. But let's listen.
And a member of obedient movement.
Now listen, look at one Okoko you brought to your screen. Oh. This is one Okoko autopilot who must have given money to come and talk rubbish. This is it. That is how they roll. Are you seeing it? This is how they roll. I thought he was going to bring it as a newspaper. He said they hired somebody. Now let's listen more to find out exactly what is going on.
They went to import people from Anambra, Abia, running for the movement.
They went and import people from Anambra, Ebonyi, Abia.
So, what has importing people from Anambra, Ebonyi, Abia, Imo? These are all in Biafra land, and this rally happened in Biafra land. What has it to do that you told people that you are going to murder sit at home, and yet these things they still happen the way these politicians wanted it to happen? He is now trying to try to brainwash you again. That the reason why he sit at home, according to him as a spokesperson of Ndenzama, did not work in Imo State, was that the politician went to hire somebody. And when he continued to lie to you in this regard, and you are buying this story, he never made any concerted effort to even do, the only effort he makes is talking on the social media. Telling you 10,000 watching to this now. You have to do this, you have to do that. At the end of the day, none of them are going to do it. You ask yourself, Is it human beings that are following you in the name of Otto? But let's continue. Let's continue.
All this neighboring state, the face of this man is not hidden.
Does it matter? The fact that you could not, there is no sit at home. There was never sit at home.
They say, oh, the video is concocted. You know the face of this person. At least 1 or 2 persons will identify him.
Wow.
Is he part of P2B or not?
Wow. 1 or 2
persons.
Did
they transported people from neighboring
1
states
or 2
to
persons
Imo or not? They did. We told you people. We know them very well.
So what about it?
Today they are complaining because they know that
if they transported, at least you did not say they transported from Fulani land. It means that Biafrans does not know you. You claim you are Biafran spokesperson. You could not even hire somebody who will tell you they transported somebody from Lagos, Abuja, Kanu, Kaduna. You hired somebody to say they hired people from Imo, Aba, Abia, Abakere, Ebonyi. You know, these things shows you that people in Biafra land does not know you. You are just on the social media making noise, writing, ranting. So Biafra land is Biafra land. When a Biafra spokesperson speaks, anybody in Biafra land is supposed to hear it and adhere to it. So why would they go and hire people in Biafra land as you that is spokesperson? Your voice is what people like to hear. Why was your voice not able to, override these hirings and make people not even come out, even though they were, called to be hired? Or are you no longer Biafra spokesperson? This is to show you when people sit in their parlor space in Finland, making noise, yapping rubbish in the name that they are fighting for your freedom. They are in control of everything. They are spokesperson. You will be there talking. You will be there agreeing with them. Some few people, they have written their death, submitted their death sentence, or that they will hire to go and cause havoc, steal phones, and do all this stupidity. You will think that these are ESN and they are in control. You don't know you are fooling yourselves. There is hunger in the land. There is indeed hunger in the land. So anybody like this who hire few people that has gone already, few criminals, tell them to go to Imo State. Go to that market there. If you go there, shoot 10 bullets on the air, everybody will run away. Then the next day when we call for sit at home, they will not come out. You believe that indeed these people are the ones doing something. You don't know it is all about conspiracy theory. You don't know it's all about lie and deceit. The more you look, the less you see. That's what they are doing to you. Because they have called for sit at home in several occasions. Even though they will come out in 6 o'clock in the morning to come and snap pictures. And after that, they now see that people are not listening or adhering to them. They now say, no, people are no longer hearing them. Let us now find a way to sabotage Radio Biafra so that people will now stop here listening to Radio Biafra. Because while they are trying to sabotage Radio Biafra, they are showcasing the voice of Umwekwensu. When they tell you, when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, they bring the voice of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu few years ago. And they were Mazen Nnamdi Kanu tell you they have captured Radio Biafra app. That a new app is coming. They will now show you their voice of Umwekwensu. That is the manipulation they are with, and you will understand it. Now, let us continue.
That nothing is hidden under this surface. Nothing. They went and transported people from neighboring states a day before. A day before. And they say, we concocted this video. This man here, some of you, those who may not recognize his face, I don't know who he is. I just come across the video.
Okay.
But I know that the God of Biafra land will continue to bring them out. Now, listen to him. Listen.
All right.
Antima from the Word Municipal, there in Imo State, and a member of the Obedient Movement, and also one of the founders of.
If he is a member of Obedient Movement, why will he come and tell you that Obedient Movement now hired people? Hey, this is laughable. And you are now actually, when they are saying all this rubbish, you are digesting it. He's a member of Obedient Movement, and he's telling you Obedient hired people. It's like those people who are campaigning for Tinubu and Atiku. They will come and tell you Tinubu hired people to campaign or to come and do the rally. Have you ever seen that happening? He's a member, but he's now sabotaging where he is a member of. Is it possible? Hi. So this is how you guys are being manipulated, and you are buying the story. You are buying the story. I pity you guys, because you people that are buying the story, you people does not exist in this world. Because, of course, you are Janjaweed. That's where the simple way of putting it is that you are Janjaweed. You are Janjaweed. Imaranyana nankala lala.
Of Obedient Movement, when it was hijacked by political prostitutes. And I'm here to condemn in total of what
Is here to condemn in total.
Hi, let me explain the basics of currency trading to you in just 60 seconds.
Now, this Chima also has come to confirm it because he's angry. He is angry that they have sidelined him, who is one of the founder in Imo State.
Indeed.
Iwetia. But they have not started. We are going to Sikalakata now. Don't worry. Like, we are telling them now, those of them that are going to be transported to Anambra and all that, they should just go there. But let them remember that they will not transport them through the nation.
Now, have you heard it? He is no longer, he has accepted that he is not in charge. He is now postponing it. So by then, as you foolish as you are, you will be donating your money to him. As he is transporting them, they will not transport them during the election. I told you. Anybody who is coming to tell you that there will be no election in Biafra land, that is not the leadership of this movement, that person is a criminal. That person is a criminal. You know why? Because they are looking for their pocket, they are not fighting for you. They are not. You see what they are doing in Niger Delta? The same thing they did with this Eberima in Finland and some Umuwanya Akata that doesn't know their left from their right. People who like criminality. Umuwanya Akata. That they join force with in order to destabilize IPOB, to bring division in IPOB. That is the reason why. And that is the same thing they are doing, the zoo is trying to do in Niger Delta. The pipeline guard. Pipeline guards. You have seen now. They have recognized Tompolo, leaving the rest of them. Now, they want them to start fighting amongst themselves so that there will not be peace. While they are fighting amongst themselves, fighting among the people who are exploiting the oil, now Nigeria will be busy exploiting the oil in Niger Delta without even putting Niger Delta people first, because your oil is being polluted, your water is being polluted by oil. And the only thing they will do is to come and be hiring you to guard the pipeline, so that these exploiters will continue to exploit it the more while you are guiding the pipeline. And now, because they know that you people might be growing powerful, they want to divide you. They want to now bring division. You people will start fighting amongst yourselves. The same way they have tried in IPOB, they failed. So they want to destabilize every powerful forces within Biafra region, within Biafra territory, to start fighting amongst themselves. That is what they are doing. They place a Berima, but they don't know a Berima has nothing in his brain. He doesn't have what it takes to disorganize organization, that people of high caliber are a part of. He does not have what it takes, because he is money conscious. He is money conscious. Had it been he was not money conscious, maybe he was going to try. But he's too money conscious. That is the reason why Oli Ajikwa on time. So now there is something I'm now.
And he's crying.
Listen.
All right. So I want you to understand this, that when you listen to all these people, you will understand the mess they are into. Now let us go to Ojo Sokalo.
No. There is a place I want to.
It will be, did some, of course, what he claimed he did, we don't see it. But there is even a thing as if that Chitobi did it some.
I think I am going to leave this one here. But if you listen to that broadcast, you will see where he is telling them that he has 10,000 people watching him live, that they should go out there and start, tagging P2B. But I don't see any of them tagging P2B. Why? Does it mean that it was not 10,000 really that is watching him? Or does it mean that those that are watching him, they come to see his stupidity? Does it mean that he is not spokesperson to this autopilot group anymore? Because I don't see any of them tagging P2B, telling him he's a failure. Which one is it that he he ordered his hypnotized to go and tag P2B, and they could not carry out the mission? Or if you have seen, please, I want you to tell me if you have seen where they have tagged P2B. Let us now tell you the money matters in Nigeria, because we are moving very fast. I want you to know, while we are still talking about this Nigeria economy, the zoo economy, that you people that as you now believe that it is through Igbo presidency that is going to save Nigeria, I want to remind you, do you know that Nigeria inflation rate has increased from 18% to 19.64% in the month of July? Are you aware of that? It has increased from 18% from 19.64% in the month of July. Now, what does this mean for you consumers? The consumers, it means that the bag of rice that you are praying for it to go down, or the abagari that you are praying for it to go down, or the anything, the services or the labor that you are now praying for it to go down, so that those that are doing construction on all these other jobs, that their labor will go down, and you will find it. And the minimum wage also, which I don't know if they will ever talk about, because it is part of this labor. It is part of this labor. If they will increase the minimum wage while the inflation is racketeering the whole nation. Now, I want you to understand that everything you are buying in your market now is going to increase, courtesy of the cabal in Aso Rock, who want to loot the country to zero. They want to loot this country to zero, so that eventually, if he goes to the hands of Igbo man, the Igbo man will be, the Igbo man will be as useless as the cabal in Aso Rock. That is exactly the plan, because they have checked the statistics. They have checked the statistics that if they try to rig this election in 2020, it is going to backfire, because the statistics and the number that we are seeing supporting this Igbo presidency is very high. Now, the only way we can manipulate this system, because the plan of those cabals and the neo-colonialists is that there will never be peace in that region, and there will never be restructuring, there will never be division, so that while you are busy fighting, claiming you are fighting insecurity, you will continue to be exploited economically. And after exploiting you, they will tell you that they are coming for humanitarian. They are coming for humanitarian to help those displaced due to the terrorism. Because the same money they will exploit from you is the same money they will bring back in the name of humanitarian. And you are not understanding it. This is the way the neo-colonialist is using to exploit you. Now the inflation rate is increased instead of decreasing, which means that your commodities, the price of your commodities, is going up. It's going up. And your money, your currency is losing value due to this high inflation that is reported by the National Bureau, is it National MBS, whatever they call it in Nigeria. They reported that from 18%, which you are familiar with, it has gone to, it has gone up to 19.64%. And now the effect of these things, how is it going to affect you? It is that your food is going up. If you are buying gari and rice, 30,000 one bag, probably to escalate to maybe 32,000 or 33,000 one bag, even though your salaries are not increasing. Your salaries is not going to increase, but your expenditure will keep increasing to the extent that you will not be able to afford to eat or to pay your bills, because everything is increasing. Now, if eventually they want to fight this inflation rate, now they are going to increase many things, like interest rate. If they are increasing the interest rate, what what impact is it going to be? Is it going to make? Did you use that one? Just 1 minute. So, sorry for that interruption. What impact is it going to have in your everyday lives? On those of you who depend on financial institutions to continue to answer billionaires and millionaires. Of course, it is also bringing financial constraint to your payback on whatever you owe. On whatever you owe. Now, let me tell you exactly the reason why this inflation rate is going up. It is due to political instability. And what is causing political instability? Political instability, economic fundamentals. Those are the things that causes inflation in the country. When different parties with, as you know that Nigeria practice partisan politics in the Kwalo and the Kwalo. When you have this method of doing your own thing, if APC, they have method of doing their own thing by looting, by using cabals to loot the country into the dust. Now the other party, to serve their own interest, whichever area they are governing, they will also be looting in that area, because they know that the people in power, they are looting. And now, when the other party, if you have PDP, APC, and APGA, and all these political parties, they are serving their interest first, instead of serving the interest of the people by looting the money that is meant to service the debt. Because this, what you called political instability. They will borrow money, they will steal it. Instead of using the money they borrow to do service delivery, which they borrow that money for, they will steal it. If they borrow 1 trillion, they will use 700 million to do 1 or 2, and they will embezzle the rest. At the end of the day, there is no infrastructural development. There is no infrastructural development. There is no political stability. There is no decision makers. There is no competent person who will make decisions in powers that will be in favor of ordinary people in Nigeria. Because as inflation is racketeering Nigeria now, you will find out that people are going hungry. The more the inflation is going up, the more people are going hungry. The more people are losing jobs. It is already seen that even the data, the data they released was 33. But Obi told you that more than 50%, and that is being politically correct. More than 50% is unemployed, plus 19.64% inflation rate. Do you know India is among those countries that is borrowing from IDA, where the most poorest country borrows, which Nigeria has borrowed a lot from now. If $13 billion they have borrowed from IDA. India is one of those who are borrowing from IDA. Do you know what is their inflation rate? Their inflation rate actually improved from 7.5% to 7% now. That is their inflation rate. India is massive in number. They have population. But Nigeria is 200 million with a lot of resources. A lot of resources. They cannot utilize these resources to build a perfect nation. Do you know why? It is not possible because the structure that you are rooted into is a wrong footing. And the people who created this structure for you does not want you to thrive in anything you do. They want you to continue to have this political instability. They want you to continue to have this insecurity. Because any country where there is insecurity, investors are running away. They wouldn't want to come to invest where there is, they are not assured of their security. How are you going to thrive as a nation? How are you going to thrive as a nation? So for all these things that you are seeing, all these high numbers of inflation you are seeing, and the valuing of your currency, because it is coming to that. Maybe by the time the cabal in Asharok will finish, the currency will be devalued. Only if they are going to hike the interest rate. If they hike the interest rate, how will the financial institution survive? Because no one will want to go and do business with the financial institution anymore with a high interest rate. Because hiking the interest rate will help fight, give weight to the currency, and to give weight to the currency in the exchange market. So now, it is like double-edged sword. Any part of it will cut you. If you hike the interest rate, it is going to be a problem, because no one wants to go to financial institution, and they will be losing customers. If you say now, let's talk about this. What depreciates the currency? What is depreciating the currency of a country? It is looting. It is looting. When your politicians are looting the country to zero, which is part of political instability. When your politicians are investing in corruption, when your politicians are supporting Boko Haram, when your politicians are fighting a conflict of interest, they are doing anything just to, that is on their own interest, not the interest of the nation. When there is conflict amongst the political parties, these are the things that devalue your money in the exchange market. And when your currency is devalued, when your currency is poor against the dollar, it means that it will also trigger inflation, because now you have to pop out more money. You have to pop out more money in order to get a buying power. So when these things are like that, you are losing your buying power. You will be losing your buying power. I am not taking calls, please. You are distracting me. I am not taking calls. Hey, these guys with their comments. So when your money is weak against the dollar, which means your buying power is less. And when your buying power is less, that means it is like you are now bringing, it means that the country is now having their inflation going high, because they don't have a buying power anymore. Their currency in the currency market, in the exchange market, does not have buying power. It does not have value. This is this is what will actually linger into the valuation of your currency. You will start using dollar only. You will no longer have currency. Just like some countries in Africa, Countries like, I think, is it Malawi or Zimbabwe? Yeah, they are using dollars. You will start using American dollars in your country. So this is where you are heading to. The naira now is has lost a lot of value in the last decade against the dollar. If it continue to go that angle, it means that sometime you will hear that naira is no longer valuable. Therefore, you cannot buy anything with naira anymore. You have to start using American dollar. That means your country is now, you know, is a failed state. It is failed. Your economy is down to zero. Now you can no longer service your debt. And I hope that this cabals in Aso Rock is not trying to devalue naira because of the debt they have taken from IMF, China, and all these countries. They will devalue naira because of the debt they have accumulated in these past years. You will no longer have currency. Therefore, maybe your debt will be, pardoned, or I don't know how they are going to go about that when you don't have currency anymore. Now, if your government is not trying to even do anything to find a way to take you out of poverty, if they are not doing anything to find a way to take you out of poverty, rather, they are working so hard to bring up the inflation rate so that the things that you can afford before, you will no longer afford it. So how do you think that Nigeria is going to work for anybody? How do you think, are you not going to die of hunger before 2023? Are you not going to die of hunger before 2023? Because what you are seeing, the loan, the debt they have, they are not servicing it. They are not servicing the debt, but they are looking forward to accumulate more debt. They are looking forward to accumulate more debt. And I even saw that they borrowed money to service their debt. Can you imagine that? They borrow money to pay a debt. You take a debt to pay a debt. And you will begin to ask yourself, who is advising this country called Nigeria? Who is advising them? That is because they don't have decision makers. They don't have people who are in power, who is able to make decisions. When we tell you that there is no person in Aso Rock who is called leader, you will not agree. But now with these numbers that you are seeing shows that there is nobody making a decision. There is political instability in Nigeria because you are being led by a group of cabals who are, who are fighting a conflict of interest. They are not piloting the country. They are taking the country to the grave. And those of you who still believe in one Nigeria, remember that when Peter Obi comes there, for Peter Obi or whoever that will go there, for them to stabilize the country, it means that you are going to suffer for at least 3 years. If he is eventually going to, which is impossible, you have to suffer for like 3 years, 4 years. You know, the suffering I am talking about is the suffering that people will start eating each other. Because to service all this debt, your oil, your resources is being exploited by illegal people
The resources you have in Biafra land is being exploited by illegal people. You don't have refineries. You don't have anything, any asset in Biafra land that you will see and say, this is what we have achieved from being one Nigeria all these years. There is none of that. In Biafra land, oil pollution, it has polluted the waters, everything in part of Biafra land. These people are not being looked after. Rather, there will be people like Asare Dokubo will be consulted, big stomach, and they will be feeding him with more money so that he will be calming you down, not to complain. While he is enriching himself, he will be calming you down not to complain about this pollution of your water and everything in those areas, on those oil producing areas, because that is what they will continue to do. They will look for one person which they will use to silence millions of people. And that is what they have been doing, that you have found yourself in this predicament. Your inflation passed the 10% mark, past 11% mark, past 15% mark. Nobody talked. Nobody saw that everything is going expensive in Nigeria. Nobody saw it to actually to protest or to ask the government, what is it that you are doing? That everything is going high. All of you who are buying food every day, you can bear me witness that things are going high. It is going high more than usual. You can bear me witness. I am not buying it with you, but at least the numbers that I am seeing here shows that everything you are buying there now is skyrocketed high. And none of you want to talk. You continue to say P2B 2023. You continue to say, and all this Umuefulef, we continue to say Atiku. We continue to say Tinubu, the one that all his family members are holding, significant positions across Nigeria. The IMF, the World Bank himself. You continue to think that people like that, when they go into power, with the amount of money they are wasting now, when they have to start, replenishing themselves from this money they are wasting, trying to buy people over in order to vote for them, they will use 3 years to service their own self. 4 years, then the next tenure, they will now do round up, which is going to be, just like you see the man in Asorok. When they started, they tell you they are blocking people, taking out money. They are blocking people, looting money to another country. And what has it resolved in Nigeria now? If indeed they have achieved it, what has it resolved? What did it change anything? Rather, you go from bad to worse. You move from bad to worse. Each time there is a prediction, this person is going to do it. You know what they use during that time. Buhari is going to fight Boko Haram because he's a major general. He does not laugh. He's a very, very mean man. He is a very, very, because he's a military. How many Boko Haram did he fight? How many terrorists did he fight? Did he quench the fire? No, he increased it. The same way, the same thing applies to all these people that they are presenting as your candidates. They can never win anything under this structure with this inflation rate 19.64%, which is going to go higher by December. It is going to go higher by December. 19.64%. Do you imagine if you are abroad, you need to start feeling the pity. feeling pity for those who are in Nigeria right now because they cannot afford to buy what they are going to eat. Believe you me, that is as a result of this inflation. That is as a result of this inflation. You might not understand it. Maybe when we talk about this, you will think it is just speaking grammar or solving numbers. No, it is not about speaking grammar and solving numbers. Inflation is what makes your commodities, their prices go very high. It increases the prices of goods and your services. How are you going to afford your child's school fees? How are you going to pay your house rent? How are you going to buy food that will be able to cater for you for the whole month, the 30 days? And you are going to do it till next year before you will now find out what is going on. Nobody is saying anything about it. Nobody. Political class will be convincing you when they come online, they will be convincing you that everything is sustainable. Everything is sustainable. Everything is under control. Nothing is under control. As long as this number of 19.64% does not go down, you are doomed. You are doomed. Because it will continue to rise. Any country that has inflation rate up to 15%, that country is finished. Those countries, they are finished. Talk more of having this inflation rate up to 19.64%. We were actually complaining about 18% last year or early in the quarter of this year or this fiscal year. You are complaining about 18%. Now it has climbed. Next thing now, in the next 2 months, it's going to go to 20.something%, because there is nothing that they are doing that will bring this thing down. Nothing. Even interest rate hikes. The interest rate that they discussed from 13% has gone up to 14%. After the interest rate went up, I don't know what is the value of dollar to naira, because that is where it is going to actually impact. If the interest rate goes up, what is the value of dollar to naira? Let's see. $421.89. Yes, it impacted that area. 421 dollar to naira as we speak is 421.89 naira because of the interest rate hike, which is that 13% to 14%. It has been implemented. That is the reason why you see this dollar decrease, the naira gain value towards dollar. It is. You cannot tell me there is no. What is the GDP there that they are producing there in Nigeria? What is the GDP? It is the interest rate that impacted that naira. And while it is impacting the naira, it is also affecting some other, areas which you might not know or be exposed to. These are the things that when you look at them, and when you look at Britain giving Nigeria money, or giving some northern part of Nigeria money for the sake of humanitarian. Now they continue to give you money for the sake of humanitarian, instead of trying to solve the problem forever. They actually nurture your predicament. They cannot curb your predicament, they nurture it. And knowing that every time they will announce to the world they have given Nigeria 105 million euro or pounds, British pounds, in order for humanitarian and the crisis going on in the northern Nigeria, when you bring it, the government will squander that money. They will take it for themselves. Who is there to enforce, to make sure that this money got to the hands of the right people? Nobody. And now, instead of Britain trying to solve the problem of Nigeria by dividing it, knowing that that oil and water that they brought together can no longer hold, they can no longer stand. That is the reason why there is insecurity. That is the reason why there is displacement all over the place. Why are they not doing so? They are now trying to nurture your predicament. Because your problem of Nigeria is not about money. The problem of Nigeria is not about money. Even if they give you 1 million naira today, it is not going to solve your problem. It is not going to solve your problem. The problem is that the structure that called Nigeria is on a wrong footing, which is because of the amalgamation of 1914, the initiative of a British, elect British or Nigeria protectorate, a governor of protectorate. So that is the only way. If you want to stop, if you want to curb the Nigeria problem, it is through disintegration. It is through referendum. Then you solve Nigeria problem. You solve this inflation rate. You solve this. Let everybody go and mind their businesses. Do your own thing. Produce what you can produce. When we come to the market, we have free trade. We have free trade. It depends on how the disintegration worked or happened. We can have free trade when we come to the market. If we can use our brains, know that this creation that Britain created, this creation of British called Nigeria, is not in favor of any human being except the politician. Even the political class, he can never favor you because you will never find peace in Nigeria. That's why your children are studying abroad. That's why you can never feel safe. You can never step out of your house, walk alone without people following you. It never favored anybody. It just made you to be used to suffering and smiling. That's the only thing it made you to be used to. Suffering and smiling. You only find that in Nigeria. Every other countries, they are revolting. They are actually complaining. It is only in Nigeria they will be suffering, they will be smiling. Once a law person on Aramano. That structure you see there it is not built for the benefit of a black man. That is the structure you saw. That is the structure that you have in that zoological republic, the British enclave called Nigeria. It is not going to be in favor of anybody called a black man. And that is the that is the reason why that structure is implemented there. Until you break that structure, you move away from the chain of this structure, because the amalgamation is the chain. They chained you. They chained you. That is the amalgamation. How can you make a good nation building when you don't like me? How can we make a good nation building? You don't like me, I don't like you. And you want to continue to pretend as if we like ourselves. We don't like each other. So go your way, let's go our way. Maybe we will like each other when we start doing business, trading. That will be the things that will make us to understand each other. Let's go your way, I go my way. Let's build a common trading ground that will favor you and favor me. This time around, it's all about business that will be bringing me and you together. When it comes to business, we can do it. We will be able to manage if it comes to business. But in a situation whereby you are forcing a relationship that can never be, if you are in a toxic relationship, any person or any woman that is in a toxic relationship, the end game of that relationship is that either they kill the husband or the husband kills them. This is as a result of toxic relationship, because on a self-defense she can kill the husband, or because of fear she can kill the husband, and because of the toxic because of the what do I call it, the man being so aggressive, because of the man believing that he is all and all, you cannot talk to him, he knows it all, he can kill the wife out of ignorance. So this is exactly what we are trying to manage in Nigeria. And this is the reason why so many people are dying in marriage. Husband killing wife, wife killing husband, because they are suffering and smiling. They don't know how to say it is over. It is as a result of what Nigeria produces. That is it. Unless we solve it from the beginning, which is that Nigeria structure, we are going nowhere. This your goods and services, the prices will never go down. It will never go down because politicians will continue to loot the money that is supposed to be used for service, debt service, to service their debt. The money that is supposed to be used for service delivery, for nation building, for infrastructural development, which when you have a good infrastructure, you attract investors. No investor want to come and start spending money on a generator and petrol. How will your economy improve? Now, this inflation rate is also affecting your petrol price. If you can agree with me, your petrol price is very high right now. I don't know. It is very high right now. It is as a result, it will go up again. When this inflation rate is gazetted, the petrol price is going to go up again. If it was 50 naira, it will go up to 52 naira. Believe you me, as you know, this number, if it is not yet gazetted, this 19.64, your petrol price is going up again. If it never went up yet, everything will go up. That is it. And there is nothing you can do. You will be sitting there saying, because that is being your language, suffering and smiling language. So it is high time you need to tell yourself the truth, because your politicians are not willing to tell you that truth. They are not willing to tell you that truth at all. They can never tell you that truth. Your debt is not being serviced. It is still sitting at 100 and something billion. They are not servicing it. Rather, they will take more debt to service the debt instead of using the money they have to service the debt. They will go and accumulate more debt to service. This is rob Peter to pay Paul. How do you think that you will get it right? Robbing Peter to pay Paul. When you have some janjaweed in the decision making in Nigeria, how can a janjaweed, how can a person who is uneducated now start making a decision that will favor you as an educated person? Why is it that when you finish your education, your degree, your diploma, your everything, your PhD, you will go back as long as you are still in Nigeria to work for an uneducated person. And yet education is the key, but you cannot find the lock. It is only in Nigeria that you will see education is the key, but you cannot find the lock. In other nations, if they tell you education is the key, education is the key. And once you pass out through the, if you achieve that education, you will find the lock. You will get employment in whichever department that you studied. You will get employment, but not in Nigeria. You will see people with a PhD, or how much will they spend, or their parents will spend all their money to make them a PhD holder. They are an AMA conductor because there is nothing for them. That is it. The people who see road, they will just run away from the country because they want you to continue to run away from this structure so that you will not be there to fix the structure. And knowing that the structure is not fixable, you will not be there to protest, to call for the dissolution of the structure. Because as you are now, your mind is positioned to be running away from the country. Even those who are preaching P2B, tomorrow now, if they open Nigeria gate, all of you will run away to abroad. But yet you believe that P2B will do it. Why are you running away? Because the structure is meant for you to continue to run away from it, so that the people who are not indigenous people will be exploiting the nation. So for you to stop running away from it, call for the dissolution of Nigeria, call for the disintegration of that structure. Does not mean that when everybody go their separate ways that we will not still have friends from Fulani land or from Hausa land or from Oduduwa land. You will still have friends, but the needful need to be done. We are tribalistic in nature. The whole of Africa, we are tribalistic in nature. There is no way you are going to deprive an African man of their tribe, where they come from. That is the reason why every season they have to go home. They have to go home because they don't enjoy their festive or anything in any other place except their home, because they are tribalistic in nature. So many people might misunderstand it when we talk about Africa being tribalistic in nature. This is a truth you can never take away. And this is the truth that many people are running away from. Being tribalistic in nature does not mean that you don't recognize every other tribe. But as long as you are carrying out your own tribal, ways and the culture, you are carrying out your ways of life without interruption or being policed by anybody against it. As long as you are doing things the way you are created to do things, you wouldn't have any problem with anybody. The reason why you see Boko Haram, imagine, because they are tribalistic. There is something they believe in, that they are being deprived of doing it as in Nigeria. They emerge as a Boko Haram. From there, they become terrorists. That is being tribalistic. We Biafrans, we know that we are Umuchukwu Okike Abiama. And being in Nigeria is depriving us to acknowledge whom we are, because Nigeria is making us to run away from whom we are and embracing other things, other nations' ways, in the quest to search for greener pasture. So we don't want it. We want to embrace whom we are, because we are tribalistic in nature. And there is nothing you can do about it. That is the reason why whenever a Biafran man die, they want to take him home to bury him. Because we are tribalistic in nature. There is something about us. We want to maintain it. We want to find it easy to maintain our ways of life instead of being oppressed while trying to do it. So it is high time you say to your tent, "Oh Israel, let everybody go their own way. Let's build a common ground, a commonwealth that can enable everybody to thrive in their own space." The first thing is to go your way, be in your space. Let me be in my space. Don't exploit me. While you are exploiting me, you are intimidating me, you are killing me. And you are expecting me not to cry. That is the worst part of it. When you come out to protest, they kill you. They beat you, they want you not to cry. This is what they are doing. Because of the structure, the system is what is oppressing you. You might believe it is the people, it is the system. That is the reason why I tell you, not even angels will come there and fix the system. Because that system, God does not know about it. God does not know about that system. It is only Britain that knows about it. It is the system that is destroying you. Not only the people that are on top of the power of the system. It is the system itself. That is the reason why whoever that mean good, even if they climb that system, they will be handicapped. The system will start controlling them. And they will not even know that the system is controlling them. And that is how it is going to be until you break the system. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay informed. Bye for now.